The Four Absolute Truths, Buddha's teaching. With Buddha's enlightenment, Buddha showed us the four absolute truths about life, which is the four suffering. When you are born, you get old, get sick, and death. And within these suffering, there are other suffering through hatred, through ambitions, through scheming, just one suffering adding to another suffering because everyone just wants what's best for themselves. So he shows us all this suffering. Then lastly, he teaches us how to rid of all these suffering and be at peace and true happiness and escape the endless cycle of suffering. So before we go into details, you have to believe in retribution. If you do something good, you get good retribution. If you do something bad, you get bad karma. And you have to believe in reincarnation, continuous reincarnation of life. So if you do good in this life, you help people, you may get good retribution and go to heaven or reborn as a human. But if you cause suffering to others, you can reborn as an animal because maybe you have taken an animal's life, or go to hell because you cause a lot of suffering to people, harm to people, to the environment. So if you want to end this endless cycle of reborn, death, suffering, asking why is this happening to me, wanting to commit suicide, having low self-esteem. So with this, you can see the truth, the cause of it, and you can escape it and stop this suffering and be enlightenment. First, let's talk about when you're born. When you're in your mom's womb, it's dark, tight, uncomfortable. Feel like you're being caged, like in a prison. And when it's time to come out, it's like you're being squeezed out. Both you and your mother are suffering. And slowly, during your growth, you may get sick, which also causes suffering. And as you get older, everything feels like it's falling apart. Your joints, you feel pain. Your skin starts to sag. You slowly feel your health is declining. Your immune system is declining. You're more immune to disease and flu. You get sick more often. The god of death welcomes his hand. When it's time for us to die, a lot of people go through pain, maybe because through bad retribution, like they die from cancer, car crash, so many ways to die. But if you you do good deeds, people have a painless death. Like some people, they just sleep and they leave the world. Very peaceful. So when you are still strong and you have the energy to do a lot of things of your choice, please choose the right choice. Do not cause suffering, pain, destruction to anybody, to the environment. If we want good deeds for our next life or for when we leave this world, and maybe reincarnate in heaven or continue to be as human again, a knowledgeable creature, not an animal, where you can get slaughtered, killed anytime, and you have no choice. So think twice before you do anything. The third suffering is sickness, disease, cancer. So you may ask, why am I getting all these cancer? Why am I getting all these disease? Well, that's why I say you have to believe in retribution because of many, many lives, because you may have done something in the last life, but we just don't remember it because we reincarnated, and this may cost us to have a certain cancer, a certain disease that's caused us pain because we did something bad in our last life. So you ask why some people smoke so much and they don't get sick, or why do I don't smoke ever take a cigarette but I have all this disease? It's hard to explain because it's through many, many lives what we have done. It's like an account. You save good deeds or you can save bad deeds, and at the right time it will reflect on us, our life. So never because of a few dollars, a few $100, and because of our greed and cause pain to others. And in the end, we accept even more pain through us, through sickness, disease, or even paralyze the whole body. It's just like you're lying there like a dead body. Not fun at all. And when we're near death, it's endless torture, endless pain. Your mind may not be functioning properly. Some people can't even remember their family, who they are, and leave this world not knowing anything. But if you built a good account, you can lead this life very peaceful. You still know everyone around you. Some people even know when they're going to leave the world and be able to say goodbye to whoever and just leave the world very peaceful. Then when we die, our soul reincarnate to the account that you have built in this life. Hell, heaven, back to being human, an animal, a human with a lot of money, career, good family, or someone who is starving every day, have access to school. So everything is up to us. We are the one who decide if we will have a good life or a bad life in the next life. And he also showed us throughout our life, there's even more suffering that we inflict to ourselves or cause to others. The first one is unjust vengeance, hatred, anger. For example, if we hate someone and we have to see them every day, that is also suffering. If we have unjust vengeance and we can't get justice, it also causes us endless suffering. This anger fire can feel like you can burn, which cause yourself to suffer, or behave and take actions which is against the law, which to cause pain back to others. It's an endless cycle which can only lead us further to heaven and closer to hell. The next one is separation from your loved ones. It could be because it's our time to leave the world, or maybe because they find another lover. And you ask, why is this happening to me? You cry. But this is the human heart, the human mind. It's always changing. You find new things more interesting. You can change your mind in a matter of a second, weeks, months, for anything, for what you buy, what you like, what you don't like. So all this is we causing pain to ourselves. The next one is suffering of scheming for money, scheming for power, for title, for lovers. It's an endless pit of greed. So the only way to feel happiness and peace to yourself is if a person know it's enough. But if you don't feel that it's enough, even the king is suffering. He suffers because maybe he wants more land, so he has to invade others. Or he suffers because he has to defend his land because he can't give it up. Or he wants to build more towers, so he needs more money, so he has to take more tax. It's a lot of suffering. He may lose sleep for it. Or maybe he can't satisfy with just having one wife. He just needs to look for other lovers, but he just can't find the love to satisfy him. It's an endless road of greed. The only way is you have to know when is enough. You have to be able to self-reflect, or you'll never feel happy. Even though he can have 1,000, 3,000 lovers, he can never feel happy and satisfied with himself. Another type of suffering is, I don't know really what to call this, but it's 5 components which really makes us who we are. So the first one is kind of like our view, our concept of beauty of the outside world. And the second one is what we accept of it. We can accept the presence. We can accept the wind. We can accept a shirt. We can accept sickness. It's what we accept around our world, what touches us, what we feel physically within us. We can accept sadness. We can accept happiness. The third one is our thoughts, our imagination. Thoughts can really go wild. We can think all the bad things in life, or we can really think all the good we can offer to life. The fourth one is action. Our action, we put our hand on our head, is an action. We walk is an action. We sit is an action. We punch a person is an action. And the fifth one is our knowledge and understanding of things. So our knowledge may be biased. We're biased of ourselves. We always want everything for ourselves. So all these 5 components which makes us who we are it's like a monster to us. This is what causes us pain if we do not know how to deal with it properly. 9th suffering is an endless cycle of life and death, reborn and born. Doesn't matter what you're reborn and born as, where, but it's an endless cycle. 10 is destruction. Could be self-destruction to your own body, destruction to your home, destruction to the world, to the environment. Causes suffering. You can cause suffering to yourself, to the environment, to people around you. And lastly is suffering adds on suffering. Why? Because if you're feeling pain, anger, you can do things and react differently, not as the nice, generous person as who you are. So, or those negative feelings can cause psychological problems or even physical health problems because our hormones changes, our stress, which one pain because of one suffering from another, you can add on physical suffering. You can cause on mental suffering. You can cause suffering to your family because you put your pain, your anger towards them or towards your coworker, your friends. Could be anybody. It's one suffering adding to another continuously. And then he say there are 6 bad behaviors that we do not know how to handle properly. The first one is greed. We can greed for power and we can lie do bad things just to have power, money. The greed covers your heart. The second one is anger. Everybody knows when you're angry, you don't even have time to think, you just react. And it's just wrong. You need to reflect, have time to think, ask if it's the right action. But anger sometimes, it just doesn't give us that time. Another bad behavior is addiction. The love for something. You could be addicted to gambling, which lose all your money for the mortgage or rent or milk money for your kid. Or you can have addiction to drugs, alcohol, which impair your mind. Your judgment is then clogged. Your reaction to your action is slower. Maybe you driving and you can't stop on time and you get into an accident. The fourth behavior is thinking that you are number one. I am all. But that is not true, because even if you're the best doctor, without the tools and technology, you cannot cure the patient. Or if you're a good architecture, the best in the world, you need construction worker. You need materials, good materials. It's just everything needs to add up to use your design to build the specific thing. It can never be just you. If you're a good coffee maker, oh, I'm the best, I make the best coffee, but there's no one to grow your coffee, how are you going to have coffee to make it? And if that coffee did not have a good season and it didn't come out, the beans didn't come out to be the best beans, the number one, how are your coffee going to be number one? How are you going to be the number one coffee maker? It's impossible. It's everything adding up. You have to help one another. Nothing can be done just by yourself, even if you're the best in the world. The last one is evil heart. The evil heart has 5 subcomponents. The first one is the body, self-centered. You concentrate too much about your body, how you look. So this may cause you to suffer through low self-esteem, or you put too much work into it. You go get plastic surgery just to look better, which is fine, but you have to know that nothing lasts in this world. I mean, you eventually grow old, your skin begins to sag. Or maybe you want to get a little bit thinner or fatter, so you have to control your diet. But when we leave this world, you have to remember, we do not carry this body. We use this body to reach enlightenment, to escape the endless cycle of reincarnation, of death and life and suffering. The second one is self-centered. So everything we do, we only do it because we benefit from it, which is fine if it's equal, but you always want to have more for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones, and you don't treat people equally. The third one is a bad mind, which we always follow fashion, how people look at you, your image, which can lead you to do a lot of bad things and follow bad people to be cool. The fourth one is closed-minded. You're not open-minded to new things, to your surroundings. The fifth one is you're not adaptable. You're not able to maneuver your thoughts to different situations, different settings, because everything changes through time. So you're able to adapt to these things. Like before, you don't have internet. Now you have internet. You have to know how to use internet. And then there are others like social media, window apps. You have to be able to adapt to these things and use it for the better. Your settings can change from bad to worse. So a nice day, you have to be able to adapt to it. Go outside, have some fun, do some exercise. Then there are rainy days. You have to be able to adapt to that. Maybe you stay in, you do some painting, some readings. It's just you have to be able to maneuver. You can't just be closed-minded and say, oh, I have to take a walk every day. So rainy days, snowy days, storm, and you're still stuck in that trance. Now that we have gone through all the suffering and the bad behavior that causes the suffering, we will now talk about how to silence these afflictions and reach enlightenment, which is ending our addiction, ending our clouded mind, having an open mind, ending our greed for money, love, power, self-benefit, and start giving more. Think of other more. Develop a true heart, a true kind heart for everyone, for animals, any living creature. Easy said than done, right? The first step is being able to self-reflect continuously. First, we self-reflect our body. Our body is just covered by a piece of layered, a cover of like sheets of skin. So underneath is very dirty. It's full of bacteria. Imagine not brushing your teeth for a day, taking a shower for a week. The mucus and all the manure that comes out of you from eating. So our body is not pure. So we shouldn't concentrate too much on it. It's our heart that we have to grow, because when we die, it's a true heart that follows us. Your body, you have to leave behind. If you care for your body too much, you can end up eating more nutritious stuff and it doesn't know where to go. You have to worry, oh, when I have to go to the washroom. You may get diabetes because you eat too much. Skin tag, destroying your body, going through all those pain for a few days just to look better. But in the end, underneath the skin we carry around is very impure, very dirty, full of bacteria. So we have to understand this and don't be attached too much to the body, because one day we're going to have to let it go. Only the true heart will follow us to the next life. The next one is we have to self-reflect our mind, our heart, not the pure heart, but the wandering heart, our wandering mind is never stable. 1 minute we can be thinking we like something, and then the next minute because something happened or someone said something to us, and then we say, oh, we don't like that person anymore or that thing anymore. Or we want to buy a car, we say, oh, I want to buy that brand, and then the next day you look into another brand and you're like, oh, I want to buy this brand, and your friends buy another brand and they talk about it. So it's very unstable. So we have to understand this and self-reflect that it is unstable. The third one is we have to self-reflect that and know that nothing is forever. Everything is combined with a whole bunch of parts to create a certain things. Let's just say a car, you need a wheel, you need a brake, you need the windshield, you need the door, you need the engine to be called a car. A plant, you need the seed, you need sunlight, you need soil, you need water for it to become a plant. And nothing is forever because the car cannot run forever. You can drive for it maybe for even 40 years. It will still have to break down. A flower, it probably can live I don't know how many years, and then it will wilt and a new one will flourish. Even us, we cannot live forever. We will one day have to leave this life and leave this body behind. Only the true heart we can bring with us. We can't bring a house. We can't bring money. You can't bring your dog with you. Nothing. Just your true heart, or you can say your soul, goes wherever that account that we talked about leads you. So it's like everything is almost like nothing. You have to see it that way. The last one is self-reflect on what you receive. Let's just say if you accept happiness or sadness, you have to let all that go because those are the cause of pain. Let's just say if you rely on someone or certain things to make you happy, if you no longer have it or that someone is no longer there, you will afflict suffering. And if you feel sadness, you also have to let it go. Those feelings are nothing. You have to always be at peace. So your surrounding cannot control you. Whatever people do, what you see, what you touch, what you eat, how one thing tastes, just you do not let your surroundings affect your action or your feelings. You are who you are. You are not because, oh, someone did something good to you, that's why you feel happy. No, you are just who you are, always at peace. If they do something to make you sad, that's okay. It doesn't affect you. You are just who you are. They can do whatever they want. It cannot touch you. They can lock you in jail, but that's kind of like locking a dog. Just your body, not you, your soul, your mind, your heart. It can go anywhere you want. Nothing affects you. So these are all the self-reflecting that you have to do to silence all your suffering and bad behavior. Now we have to ask ourselves where we are at this moment. Are we at peace, or have we already did something bad? Have we created bad thoughts within ourselves? If we already have bad thoughts, we have to destroy it using those self-reflection. So the moment your thoughts say, oh, I want to steal that thing because, oh, it's so pretty, you have to stop that thought right away so it doesn't create and go through an action. Or if your thought is saying, oh, that girl is not pretty, what she's wearing is out of fashion, you have to stop that thought right away before you tell a friend or gossip. So you have to now use those self-reflection and stop those bad thoughts before it goes into a behavior, an action, or talking. And if you self-reflect and you're not bad, you don't gossip, you don't talk behind people's back, you always say kind words, then continue. So it becomes an everyday life. It becomes normal. So you have to continuously stop yourself from all these bad thoughts through self-reflection before you do things, and it becomes a normal everyday things. It will slowly make you become a better person, and eventually you want to reach enlightenment and escape this endless cycle of life and death. So now we know how to self-reflect to stop our bad thoughts to transfer into bad actions. Next step is a 5 components that creates a good behavior, everyday behavior, to stop the bad behavior. So the first one is believing in Buddha and his teaching. So we continuously do good to have good retribution, a better life. The second one is courage. Courage to be able to continuously self-control, to study and practice good behavior every day and stop the bad behavior from even starting, never letting go for even 1 second. And the next one is self-reflecting our thoughts. So every day you just only remember good stuff from everything. Let go of all the bad energy, of all the bad things you see, you hear in life. Just let it go. Just keep only the good stuff. This will build your good heart, good behavior. The fourth one is meditation at a state of calmness. Always calm, peaceful, which will lead to enlightenment. Knowledge of enlightenment. This is not knowledge of a textbook or skill you learn. It's knowledge of enlightenment, knowledge of truth, knowledge of the universe. So when you have this knowledge, you use it to know if it's right, you do. And with this knowledge, you will know what is wrong and you will not take action. Continuous meditation will help you deal with the everyday stress and let it go and be at peace again. And once you're at peace, you can go back into the outside world and continue with your good deed and not let anything affect your mood, your action. And you go home, you self-reflect, and you meditate. Now, there are 8 right ways to do things. And this helps you fight the 8 bad ways. So the first one is the right mind, the right knowledge. So you know what's right and you follow Buddha's way and escape all the addictions, the greed in this life. So that's like the right knowledge. And then you need to have the right thoughts. So everything you think is good. Everything you want to do is good. You think, oh, I'm going to do good for this person. I'm going to help this person. Nothing in your thoughts is bad. Now you have the right speech. Everything that comes out of your mouth is kind words. All the words that come out of our mouth, we have to know that it's right, correct before we speak. You can't say words that are untrue, words that do not need to be said. So your body, your mind, your words, everything needs to be kind, right, proper. The next one is everyone has the right to live. You can't disrespect our life or judge one life is better than another life or more valued. We have to respect all life. So now we have to take courage and continuously do right every day and don't be scared. And every day we have to self-reflect everything right. We have to remember to do everything right. We cannot forget. We cannot let it go for 1 second. Even when we sleep, when we dream of doing good. We dream of doing the right thing, of helping others. And then we reach meditation right. It's everything is peaceful and silence. And all you have is right, justice, good, kind heart within you, happiness within yourself, true happiness. Nothing can affect it now. No more affliction. The state of enlightenment. We covered all the Buddha's teaching of the Four Absolute Truths. I hope this will help everyone. I hope you reach enlightenment and peace